Your tribulation is now your blessing. I've told you for a while that not only do you have faith in God, but God has faith in you. You're clearing away so much density for everyone. And chosen one, it's up to you to do it. You could reflect on your past year, maybe past couple of years, and you say to yourself, why did all of this happen? Because you're an alchemist, and you're here to transmute it all. In today's lesson, we're going to understand and overstand why your tribulation, it was divinely given to you. Your tribulation now becomes your blessing. And it's your blessing for yourself. It's a blessing for the world, because you're actually changing the world. Did you know that? You're tuning in, you're sitting there, you're like, oh wow, I'm changing the world. Sometimes we're given something, and they say, there's an old school phrase, God only gives you what you can handle. You ever hear that phrase? God only gives you what you can handle, because God knows what you're born to do, what you're able to do. You're able to do things that nobody else can do. And that's why the tribulation that you went through, it's actually your blessing. And you're going to be blessing the world with the answer. And that's what we're going to learn about today. If you're just getting this message, whether live or on the replay, could you kindly hit the like button so that others will be able to hear this message. We're all healing from it, and we're teaching others how to heal from specific things. Your tribulation that you were dealt, everyone was dealt a deck of cards. You're very powerful beyond anyone else. And you sat there, and maybe you did things that nobody else would do. You learned the ins and outs of your tribulation. Does that sound like you? You were dealt this deck of cards, this hand of cards. You dealt. This is what you were dealt. You sat there. You learned the ins and outs. You survived. You overcame, and you unlocked the keys to the universe. Yeah. And now you're able to give these keys to other people. There ain't nobody like you. Each and every one of us have innate abilities. And that's why we were given specific tasks over the past few years. And that tribulation that you went through it, you survived it, you overcame it. And to do this, you specifically were tasked to learn the ins and outs. You were studying it all along. And now you're able to pass it forward. And that's what we're all going to be doing in 2024. You are transmuting the situation. You're turning it into gold, if you will. You are an alchemist. If you are an alchemist, right, I am an alchemist. And you really need to be able to transmute things. It's just the way of the world right now. It's a bumpy ride right now, but you have this ability to take these difficult tasks that, no one might believe that you can do it. We're going to learn about this in today's lesson. There was a man, Roger Bannister. He was a neurologist and an athlete. And years ago, people said you could never break the 4-minute mile barrier. You could never run a sub 4-minute mile. And this was going on for years. They was just known, you can't run a 4-minute mile. And Roger Bannister, he trained, he figured out everything, he studied everything that he had to study. studied the body, right? Knowing what needed to be done, studying the mind. If you're new to the channel, we have to stay focused on mind, body, and spirit at this time. So Roger Bannister, he set forth and he broke a sub 4-minute mile. He broke that barrier that you could never break through this barrier. And that's what you're doing, chosen one. You're here for a divine purpose. You're not here to live a matrix life. You are here to break barriers for other people, to bring people together, to be a lighthouse. When someone breaks through what was previously thought to be impossible, others are inspired by this success. And then they follow through with this new possibility. You are creating a new possibility. You are creating a new timeline. And this is known as the Bannister Effect. So each and every one of us will have this effect on this reality. We will all have this effect and show people that you could accomplish maybe things that nobody else thought was possible. You know that you can't just go forth with your life. And some people, everyone came here for something specific. And you could say, we could share as a community. Other people know this as well. People say, why are, God's people being, beaten down so much? Because you are built like none other. You're able to take this, learn from, you got to study it. Right? You're cracking it open. You're looking at all the intricacies, right? You're looking at all the little nuances, and you become a professional. Are you a professional? Let us know. Let us know in the chat. What was your tribulation, and what are you overcoming? And I appreciate that. Thank you. If you're just stumbling here, please hit the like button so others will be inspired as well. It's my honor to inspire you. We're all cleansing the body, the mind, and the spirit. You have to cleanse your body, mind, and spirit of toxins. That's where we're staying focused this year in 2024. People, they are programmed to put, I am this type of person, and I have to fit in this box. I have to fit in this box, right? We could see it even here with our community, right? If you say are spiritual, you need to fit in this box, right? If you're athletic, you have to fit in this box. If you're scientific, you need to fit in this box. You don't have to fit in any of the boxes. You are here to break through barriers. We're breaking down barriers like Roger Bannister did. So now we're doing it in a different light. And we could use this. Remember, I've always shared about the people that came before us. They left us the breadcrumbs, like Nikola Tesla, right? Nikola Tesla was like the scientist that kind of merged science and spirituality, right? And we see this throughout other scientists as well. And if you think about Roger Bannister, he trains as an athlete, becomes a neurologist, right? You're merging the two. Hemisync, full video on the channel page. If you're new to our channel, you want to achieve hemisync. You want to marriage both sides of the brain. Some people in the spiritual community, right, for example, they will call that merging the divine masculine and feminine. Okay. In scientific community, people call that hemisync. There's no right or wrong to the labels of certain things, but what we're here to do is break through barriers that no one thought was possible. And now a bunch of people will see this success. Maybe as you overcame your tribulation, what is your sharing that you're going to put out to the world? As a lighthouse, you're shining it onto the world. And now people will be able to follow through in this new possibility. You are the change. You are the change that you want to see in the world. Once Roger Bannister broke this 4-minute mile, then multiple people were all of a sudden able to do it because the biology of belief. Full video on the channel page. Please hit the subscribe button if today's message is resonating with you. The biology of belief. You have to believe it. And once other people see the success, they know it is possible. They can believe it. You need to have the inexhaustible belief in yourself. That message lasts the test of time. The inexhaustible belief in yourself. So during this process, as you have come through your tribulation, now this success that you have done, you've overcome it all. Now you're helping others. You are the change. Stop waiting for someone else to do it. You have to sit there. You have to, I'm the change. Write it in the comments. I am the change. Remember, I am, the power of I am. I am the change. I don't have to sit here and wait for someone else to do it for me. I don't have to sit here and worry about narcissistic gaslighting. Do you know about gaslighting? Also on the channel page. We're here to expand consciousness for all people. As we expand our consciousness, now we are aware. Awareness is the precursor to change. You're becoming aware. Oh, I'm aware of these things now. Now I can apply them to my everyday life. Tremendous. It has a ring to it. Doesn't it have a ring? I can apply it to my everyday life. And now I am the change. So you have to be aware of it. People became aware. Wow, I could run a sub 4-minute mile. They became aware. And that was the precursor to the change. And now all of a sudden people were breaking the 4-minute mile. There is a strong connection between the mind and the body and the spirit. And that's why, especially during this time, I know it's tough times, but tough times build tough chosen ones. You're the toughest of the tough, actually. Did you know that? We've all gone through it the past year. And there's a reason for this. Don't go anywhere. Amanda Simpson, thank you so much for the support, Amanda. Amanda writes, I am the change. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you, Amanda. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, we all have to be the change. And guess what? All you need to do is show up every single day. Just show up. Sometimes all you need to do is hang on and survive. I like to use a lot of common everyday life things to help teach people. Years ago, if you were a wrestling fan, I love to use this one. If you were a wrestling fan, I watched it with my father years ago, and there's something called the Royal Rumble. You have to fight against 30 other guys. Everyone's fighting each other at the same time. And at the end, there was a guy, Shawn Michaels. He wasn't the biggest guy, but he was the best. And he was about to be eliminated. So the guy threw him over the rope. If you got thrown over the rope, you lose, right? But he held on. He held on with all his might, and he pulled himself back into the ring, and he actually wound up winning the entire Royal Rumble. And some of you might know that. Use the look it up on YouTube if you don't know that example. So I'm using that as a teachable tool. You know, sometimes all you need to do is hang on. Sometimes all you need to do is hang on for just one more day, and then the hand of God moves. You have to sit there and have the inexhaustible belief and have a knowing that it's going to happen, and then all of a sudden the hand of God moves, and the hand of God is moving now. If you believe it, hit the like button. I appreciate that. There is such power when others come together. In this world, people are so separate right now, but when we come together, we create a ripple or a wave. Constructive interference wave. This is science of vibes, right? Constructive interference waves. What you are doing, what you are for the world, chosen one, if you will, what you are for the world is a pathfinder. You might be the lone wolf. The lone wolf goes out there, is the pathfinder. The lone wolf returns to the pack as the sage. And maybe you are the black sheep of the family, for example. You're going out there, you're learning, you're overcoming, you're learning the ins and outs. You know, a lot of us, and a lot of what I've researched over the past year has to deal with stress and its effects on the body and how we could heal. How could we heal our organs? How could we heal inflammation? You know, there's a lot for us to expand on. And so you go out there, you learn the ins and outs, you are the pathfinder, and you come back and you teach the pack. The lone wolf is the sage of the pack. You could write it in the comments. I am the pathfinder. That's what you are. I am the pathfinder. You know, I've done things, and I know my family will be following along. I had to do things that were uncomfortable. I was the first one to do it. And you might be the first one for your family. You're taking your family, you're getting them in the light ship, and you're moving on to the fifth dimension. If you move into the fifth dimension, you could hit the 555 in the chat. I appreciate that. You're moving on to the fifth dimension. And someone has to set sail. You're setting sail in your light ship. You're going forward. And you're finding the path. Somebody has to be the pathfinder, and that's you. When you look at the life, when you look at the world, if you look at everyday life, there are so many different things that we have to find a new path for. Does that resonate with you? Look at all aspects of life. It seems twisted, turned upside down, like the song said, right? It's turned upside down. It's crazy what's out there. And there's a lot of confusion. This was done divinely so that the hand of God can move. And the hand of God is moving you. Once again, the hand of God is moving you. So people will see the hand of God move. And they'll see how you are able to learn, to overcome, to alchemize, to transmute certain things, and help make the world a better place for all people. That's what the Pathfinder does. And you came into this life to set sail, be the Pathfinder, break through the barrier. You are breaking through the barrier just like Roger Bannister did. And stop thinking about, oh, I can only be one thing or another. What you're doing is you're limiting yourself. And what we need to do, as I shared many times previously, we are all in a state of expansion. Are you expanding or are you contracting? You need to expand outward in all directions. So, you know, when you look at a person like Roger Bannister, you know, you could have a scientist and an athlete. Stop putting labels on yourself that define you when you realize that you are everything and I am everywhere. You have to realize that. Once you realize that, you start expanding. Expand to the new possibilities, new timelines, tune into new frequencies, and you are altering the reality. Just like if Roger Bannister never went forward, maybe we wouldn't have people like, it's like, okay, we got to hit 4 miles now. We have to hit 4 minutes now in the mile. 4-minute mile. Boom, here we go. So it changes. We're leveling up. And that's evolution. And we're going through an evolutionary process. So during this time, realize that your tribulation, whatever it might be, you are overcoming from something. It could be health-based. It could be relationship-based. It could be with stress. It could be with jobs. It could be with anything that is specific to your journey. And you went through this tribulation. On our Patreon, we have the 8 dimensions of wellness community. You can't just look at life and say, oh, this person has everything, but maybe they are struggling in a different dimension of life. We all go through this wheel of 8 dimensions of wellness. So maybe you're tackling something and someone else is and we're just passing the baton to each other. That's all we're doing. Hit the like button if this resonates. Hold on, here we go. We're passing the baton. Okay, now it's my turn. Now it's your turn. Last year, a lot of you went through trials and tribulations so that you could alchemize, transmute, be the pathfinder. Now, when people go through these trials and tribulations this year in 2024, you have returned as the sage. Write it in the comments. In 2024, I am the sage. CC, thank you so much for the support. CC writes, I am the path, the light. Absolutely. You need the light to find the path. Light is information as well. Light, the truth. You want the truth? A lot of people can't handle the truth. The light's too bright for them. It's okay. You have to shine the light. We're all navigating uncharted waters. This is where we are in the history of humanity. Full videos on the channel page. Hit that subscribe button. I appreciate you. Hit the like button. We could all help to get this message out there collectively. You're in uncharted waters now. And if you don't know, there's no map, there's no direction, you can't see, you're in the darkness. We're leaving the dark ages. We are into the light now. You can't navigate an uncharted place in the dark. You trip over things, you stumble, you fall down. You need the light. The light illuminates okay, now I could see. Awareness. You got to be aware. You got to be able to see. And that's what the light represents. People will all see the hand of God move within you, and you are being that very powerful pathfinder so that others can find their way out of the matrix and into the 5th dimension. And so it is. If you find this message interesting and you would like to learn more about our reality in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration, why don't you click subscribe, give the video a like so it becomes visible to more people, and please share with one other person. If everyone shares today, at least with one person, we can make a ripple and we can get this out and a lot of people can be inspired. Know that your tribulations, they were for a reason. You were able to overcome them. You were able to transmute them. They are now your blessing because now you're able to teach people. It's going to be part of you. These things are part of you. You ever have you ever get like a scar, a birthmark or something, and then when you're younger, it bothers you. But then as the time passes, it's part of you. Embrace it. We embrace these things. It's part of our everyday life. And right? and that's where we want to be. We want to love ourselves. A lot of people in this world, they don't love themselves. You'll be lost if you don't love yourself. Practice self-love in 2024. Create boundaries in 2024. If you're new to the channel, very powerful videos over the past month. Go to the channel page, check them out. Remember that you have the ability to create your brand new life on a brand new timeline. I love you all. Let us know, what were the tribulations that you had to overcome? Are you making it part of your everyday life? Are you using it to teach people, making the world a better place? What are your thoughts on Roger Bannister? And remember that story. Don't put yourself in a box. If you're an athlete, doesn't mean, you can't be a scientist, or if you're a scientist, you can't be an athlete. Right? So we learn if you're spiritual, doesn't mean you can't be scientific. If you're scientific, it doesn't mean you can't be spiritual. Merge the two, hemisync. I love you all. We have daily videos at 9 a.m. Eastern time. Please hit that subscribe button. We will be back on tomorrow. I love you all. Let's make 2024 the greatest year of our everyday lives. I love you all. Bye for now.